What up, Chipper Chaps? This is Chipper Chap Chat, episode 100. Oh shit!
100.
Right?
Is it there?
Yeah.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I hope you can hear me, guys,
I
because
can.
we're trying. I'm back home in Australia,
Yeah.
so it's different.
It should be good. It looks like it's registering both of our audios.
Sweet.
So I think we're
Sweet.
I think we're good to go.
Cool beans.
So obviously we're not in the same room anymore.
No.
So episode visual had to change. So at least for now, this is what the show looks like. So welcome to the 100th. If it's your first time, good time to start. I'm FooRay.
Yeah, if it's your first time, we have 99 plus episodes to look back on. So
yeah, so if you feel like digging,
maybe watch some of those
things. I am FooRay, which it says there, obviously. That on that side is Chamba. The directions,
I don't know where I'm pointing. If I'm pointing correctly,
yeah, that way's correct.
Is that over here?
Yeah. Eventually, I'll get the pointing down. Right now, it's awkward.
It's all good. This is new to us, kind of still.
So this is our first time trying this out.
Yeah. We did a
test,
a sample, right? Yeah, we did a test.
But this is our
which
first.
we said some dumb stuff, so it'd be funny to upload that. But
it would be. I'd have to check it to see what we actually talked about.
Yeah, to see if it's safe to upload. Because some dumb stuff has been said.
Oh, but
it's been a while since our last episode, right?
If you guys have been around since the beginning, lots of dumb stuff is said. But it has been a couple. We attempted to record what would have been our 100th episode while you were here, but there was an audio snafu. So you guys might see that in some shape or form. We'll see. Eventually, yeah.
Maybe.
Or,
it was fun though.
Or maybe we'll do an alternate version.
Maybe.
Once my moving situation is settled.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, let's before we start talking about news and regular stuff, how's everything going with the both of us since it's been a while? Car.
Fine, I'll say.
Fine. Well, obviously I'm back in Australia. It's been I got back last week.
So I think it's been 1 week.
Almost a week. It's been almost a week. And nothing's changed really. It's weird.
Just back to our respective art dungeons.
Pretty much. Not seeing the sun, but I get to see my nephews, so that's great.
Yeah.
Same old stuff.
I'm getting ready to move, and moving sucks, so everything is awful right now.
Moving is awful. I don't envy that.
Yeah.
At all. But it's part of living life, I guess.
Yeah. Also, hey, check it out.
Yeah, look at that.
What's that going on right there? That's a mother bleeping Chipper Chap Chat.
I mean, obviously Royce is already wearing the hat.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm wearing.
What's this
I'm wearing
situation
my new cap
going on?
But check out his shirt. We're gonna make that available.
Yeah, you couldn't even wear your Chipper Chap Chat cap, man. That's episode 100, bro. That was too much effort.
I could still grab it. It's over there.
It's too late. You already missed your opportunity.
I only wore this because I'm excited that it arrived today.
But not as excited as you should be for episode 100.
Right.
That's
I wore my Chipper Chap Chat hat.
I mean, and you even had an opportunity because I literally left to put this shirt on, and you were like,
but I forgot what hat I was wearing.
I got wingdings.
You got wingdings. Well, we got some stuff to talk about, so let's start off. Let's start off with the stuff that's not really. Well, we got TV stuff, obviously normal. We got some movie stuff as normal too, but we've got some extra stuff which, I guess, relates somewhat.
What would you like to talk about first?
Let's go with the Dragonball Fighter Z.
Okay.
Z.
Yeah.
Fighter Z. Obviously, as if you know us, we are fans of Dragon Ball. I am a very big fan of Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
New games coming out by Bandai Namco, and they recently announced a very brand new character
Very
that goes
brand
by
new.
the name, very brand new, because she never appeared. It's a she.
Right.
Never appeared in any of the mangas, all the animes.
Mm-hmm.
Brand new, just for this game alone. Her name is Android 21, and I don't know. What are your thoughts on the design and just the look? Story-wise, no idea still.
Right.
We know she's an android. That's it.
The look of her is fine. It's kind of like 60s spy movie kind of fashion, which I don't have any problem with it. It looks like a character that somebody that only draws in Dragon Ball style, like they'd create their own character. It'd look like that.
Well, it makes sense because it's actually designed by Toriyama himself.
Right. It looks like Toriyama designed it in a create a character menu screen.
That's pretty rad though when you think about it.
I've already seen, dude. Let me tell you, I've already seen way too much pornography
in Toriyama
centered
style
around this character. Like, she's been out for like zero time, and already they're like blowing her spot
came out like a month ago, maybe at max a month ago.
Yeah, I just don't even understand. Like, it seems inescapable right now, but I just didn't realize. I didn't realize it was like that.
We live in a day and age where there's a lot of artists that make money to do not even just making money, just hey, I'm gonna draw a picture, I'm gonna upload it, check it out that quickly. So it's like, oh snap, new character, meaning new fandom, meaning I can draw new porn.
I super want to see this character nude, so however that's gotta happen, it's gotta happen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like not only nude, but in sexual acts.
Yeah, man.
Because that's the way the internet works.
That's the future.
It is, but I like her design. I think her design's cool.
It definitely doesn't bother
I'm curious
me.
to see what her fighting style is going to be like.
Yeah, I'm also curious. She kind of reminds me of the like one of the teachers from rival schools in the thumbnail you picked.
Dude, yeah, the nurse.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's the coat. It's the white coat.
Mm-hmm. And the glasses.
I like her design. Hopefully, I can find some time to just do some fan art.
Yeah.
Not porn ones.
When I first saw the design, I was like, I should do some fan art of this just because it's hella random from me because I don't draw a lot of Dragon Ball characters.
I think you would actually draw her really well.
The first person I saw do one was Genzo, and I was like, that.
Yeah, but
he definitely, you could tell he likes the design. He's not just drawing for funsies.
Mm-hmm. Honestly though, like Genzo's like whenever something new comes out, like I know when Minat came out for Street Fighter V,
he's on that shit.
He was like already uploaded like a couple hours later. I was like, he was on it quick.
Yeah. Maybe we should do a Minat versus this chick piece.
That should be fun. That would be fun.
Two birds, one stone.
Yeah, no doubt. Next thing is One Punch Man, Season 2. Finally, some more news about it. I knew about the, obviously, Season 2 has been announced for a while now. It's been very quiet. Like, no one's really been talking about it. No news about it. But I think today, or like within the past 48 hours, 24 hours, we got word that Season 2 is happening. Obviously, it's going to be out next year. They have a new director and new animation studio. So it's no longer going to be done at Madhouse Animation, which is fine. The director is Chikara Sakurai. Okay. He was the he did stuff for Naruto, so I think he was like animation supervisor or something like that. So that's fine. Like, again, he's got experience working with Naruto and stuff, so action should be fine. And the animation studio is JC stuff. Now, they're not normally known for the crazy action type stuff, but as we were speaking earlier before recording, Madhouse is known for, like, they were known for their crazy action type stuff, but with One Punch Man specifically, they outsourced a lot of the animation. So they hired a lot of guys from, say, Bones specifically, actually, to do a lot of the action stuff. So for all we know, JC stuff might do the same thing. They might actually outsource some of their, like, some scenes out of their own studios. Right. But I think JC stuff can actually handle it.
So you're pretty confident it should turn out fine?
I'm confident it's going to look good. Like, I know it's at least going to look good. I know that might be some concern for some people, because it's like, they're not sure, like, because there are some JC stuff animation where the visuals isn't like super polished, but they have other ones where it's super polished stuff still. So depending on what direction they go with, and I'm sure it'll work out just fine. If they take lead for what happened in season 1, it should look good. Because like I listed a couple of stuff that JC stuff does. They did Food Wars, which is a very popular. Season 3 is actually going to come out, I think, next month. It's that battle manga anime that has to do with food, which is pretty rad. Like visually, it's super clean, very nice. They did Prison School, which is also quite popular. The action and angles and stuff like that's very good there. Bakuman, which was the anime that was based on these two high school kids that wanted to become mangakas. I would actually recommend that. Really good.
I think I remember you talking about it before.
Yeah, it's great because you get to see how hard it is to become a mangaka in Japan. Like, it's a lot of work. And this one, it goes through their storyline, and it's to me, it's got like great replay value as well, and Witchcraft Works, which I think is the better example of what kind of action and visuals we could see from season 2. So I'm not worried at all with that.
Cool. Not
worried at all. I think it should be fine. I've been waiting. I'm sure a lot of people.
Is there any word on when this is supposed to drop?
2018.
Okay.
2018. So
sometime next year.
Sometime next year. The fact that this has been announced already is a good sign. Meaning, for all we know, they might have hired the director, and they probably acquired the animation studio much earlier than they just announced it. It's not like they just got it now and then they announced it. I'm sure they've been in talks for a couple of months now. So for all we know, they might already be in production.
Gotcha.
I don't know yet.
Yeah.
So, but next year is definitely the planned release, and I'm keen on it because I'm still enjoying the manga. It's still kick-ass, so I can't wait to see some of those scenes moving.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm sure it's gonna look good. Like, the manga already looks dope, so they have to just follow that. It's that simple. I know it's easier said than done, obviously, but he's essentially laid it out for you.
Right.
So you just gotta copy that. But next up, things that we both obviously watched and stuff. Punisher trailer.
Okay.
TV talk, Punisher trailer. It's the only thing we've got so far on TV talk so far, but nothing is like, there's all these other shows. I just don't even really care anymore about them. It sucks because I kind of want, like, I gave them all a shot, obviously. You did too.
Yeah.
I'm sure you still watch any of them actually.
Well, I think a lot of them are off season. The only one that
okay, but you did watch the last season, right?
The only one that I watched all of was Flash.
Okay.
I have pretty much fallen off of Legends of Tomorrow altogether. Not it, but it's sad too because it wasn't ever anything against the show. They just was too much shit to keep up with.
Yes, that's really it.
Yeah,
like, it's keeping up with everything that it's almost like I'm just dropping everything.
Yeah, I can only keep up with a few things. It's like the same thing with the wrestling. We're always talking about like, oh, but NXT's tight. I'm like, I'm sure it is, but it's like there's just so much shit to watch now.
But like with NXT, you do watch the pay-per-views, right?
Not every time. Some of the times I'll check them out if I hear they're nuts and like I'm missing out or something. I'll check them out. But it just in general, there's just so many things.
Hard. It is hard. There's way too many things. Like everything. There's so many of everything that you want to just take in. But you're like, I have to do stuff still.
Right. I've still got obligations.
Yeah. But yeah, Punisher, Netflix.
What did
Netflix
you think of the trailer?
Easy to take in. Trailer looked good, man.
Yeah. I liked the Metallica song choice.
That was good. The look, again, Netflix is doing something different with the look and how it doesn't really, it looks like it fits within the other Netflix Marvel shows.
It looks like it also gritty as fuck John Wick.
It does. Yes. That's why I was like, oh man, John Wick would be cool.
Like some of the sequences of him going through the hallways with the shotguns and stuff, his precision is very John Wick, but it's like he's covered in like blood and
he's
dirt and stuff. He's not wearing a business suit to any of these.
No. Which is a good look. It kind of suits the character, and I think it looks good. I'm sure like they probably looked at John Wick and stuff like that and go, okay, we can do this stuff. This is
the only thing with this iteration of Punisher that I'm not completely sold on is the hair. Like I get that he's like a military guy or whatever, but I think they should just buzz it to a 1. Like keep it like faded up to the top, but he doesn't need this little like fringe.
Yeah.
Up here.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's like just a little too Forrest Gumpy for me. I'm like, get rid of that shit.
I never even thought Forrest Gump, but now I'm not gonna unsee it. It's just there now.
They're both military guys. I don't know.
That's true. That's true. Forrest Gump is military. The trailer looked good though, and who was the main villain in this?
See, I don't know. It looked like it was something to do with his past still, even though he killed the like main guy in charge in Daredevil. Spoiler, I guess.
Whoops. Well, if you haven't seen it, that's
right. But
your fault.
I've heard rumors that Jigsaw is supposed to be in it.
They
to
showed
some
him.
Degree. Right, but I don't know if he's the main.
Right. He could
and
just be the
especially with
secondary.
Marvel shows, they love going like, "Here's your bad guy," and then halfway through, being like, "Psych, it's a different bad guy. It's this bad guy."
No, Royce. Now that you brought that up, I hope that's like,
but,
hey,
mean,
Jigsaw, we kill him.
Sometimes that's fine. We'll see how it works out. I hope that they're learning lessons from the things that they're doing.
I really do.
But at the same time, like, to me, still, like, Daredevil and... I liked Jessica Jones, but I'm like, the ones that I'm excited for are where Luke Cage goes and where Daredevil goes.
I'm actually looking forward to where Iron Fist goes next too.
Man. I want to see it, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up until I start seeing some good shit. Like I'm confident I'm gonna like where Daredevil and Luke Cage go, but they gotta win me back with Iron Fist.
Right. Absolutely, no, I completely agree. Daredevil, on the other hand, that's the one I'm just like, yeah, I'm already on board.
Right.
I'm way on board for that one. But the Punisher looks good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I
think it looks good. The casting looks good. We see Karen Page is there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, so she's probably one of the major players, I suppose, in that show. Just to, like, she's the tie.
Right, because she was important to his storyline when he was on Daredevil as well.
So, when is that? Like, is that this year?
They said it's this year. They haven't said when, but like, the speculation is that it's supposed to come out around Christmas.
Okay, wow. That's, I don't know, it's Christmas viewing. Let's watch The Punisher.
Let's watch somebody get their body shot up.
Yeah. Like, just that scene where his wife turns around and just into a gun.
Right, but, I'm wondering still, is he just imagining her death over and over, or is that how she died? Because when he described how his family died, it was like they got in between some crossfire in a setup in Central Park or something.
He might have just said that, though.
But that's his origin story, so I'm like...
That's true.
I think it might be like him hallucinating. He just sees her die a bunch of terrible ways. I don't know.
Right. Oh, that's awful. That's the worst. No wonder he wants to kill everybody.
Right. So anyway,
like really,
it looks cool. What else we got on the list?
Movie stuff now. There's 2 trailers that we're going to talk about. First one being, I guess let's talk about Jumanji.
Okay.
Trailer 2 for Jumanji. Came out. Now, trailer 1, what do you think of the first trailer, for example? First up.
Okay, it's odd, because I saw the trailer first on YouTube or something.
Okay.
When they first came out, and there was a bunch of, like, people talking crap about it.
This is the first trailer we're talking about,
right? The first trailer, yeah. The, reveal trailer. And then, so, I watched it myself, and I was like, it looks fine. Like, it wasn't offensive to me. Nothing, like, bothered me about it. But then I saw the same trailer... I think before Spider-Man. I think when we went and saw Homecoming.
Right.
They
it
played
was there,
the trailer,
right?
Yeah. But like the crowd was like way into it. Everybody was laughing. I was like, nothing bothered me about this, and it looks funny. It doesn't look like Jumanji, but it still looks like a fun thing with the Jumanji kind of concept. And I'm down to see it. I'm not gonna hate it just because it's not the Jumanji we know.
Right.
But for right now, I mean, it looks fun. I'm interested to see it, but I'm also not going to be heartbroken if it's garbage.
Okay, yeah, like that's based on the second trailer now as well.
No, that's based on the first trailer.
Okay, now the second trailer.
The second trailer looks like more the same. I mean, it looks good. It looks entertaining. It looks funny. The only part that I didn't like is, I'm sure people will disagree with me, is just the like slapsticky gag of Kevin Hart eating the cake and then exploding. And I was like...
What came out of nowhere, though? I kind of find that...
Right, it was funny, but I'm like, this is the movie we're about to... Like, when I imagined Robin Williams in the Jumanji world, because he's trapped there as a kid, I didn't imagine those kinds of rules. I just imagined him in a terrifying jungle with like oversized bees and plants and stuff. It's like Pandora, but you're the only human there or whatever. And this version seems, because they have to include the more video game aspects of it, things like my weakness is cake, and you go like, okay, what does that mean? Just if you see cake, you're like, oh, I can't stop eating, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then instead it's like, I take a bite, I'm like, what? Well, nothing happened. And then you just explode.
Blow up, right.
It's random AF, but
it is random.
But random. I'm interested to see it. Nothing has offended me about it.
Right. Exactly. Like, to me, it looks like just a fun film.
Right. It looks like silly, popcorny stuff, which, you know...
But I definitely agree with what you mean. Like, I remember the first Jumanji when Robin Williams, the way he described, and the way the world looked like in the
how it
actual world
manifests itself.
Yeah.
Didn't
it's
seem
deadly.
Like yeah, for sure.
No, there was no jokes about it. Like, when he got out, he was over the moon that he finally got out of there. Whereas I guess that's kind of like the difference between the board game aspect and the video game aspect, maybe. Like with the video game aspect, probably because they have to follow through that it's the video game. I don't know, it just felt a little more fantastical and not as serious as a threat.
For sure. I just wonder, like, in another 15, 20 years, are we going to be remaking Jumanji again, but it's like a haunted fucking VR goggles or something? Like, what is the evolution of this franchise?
Yeah, what's the next step? Or is it going to go back to board games?
Yeah, I don't, like, it's just so bizarre to me, really. I don't know. Like, I still... because Jumanji, like, I didn't understand, they don't never really explain the lore of Jumanji in the first one, except for you found a board game on the beach, you hear drums play, so you know it's like a weird thing. But this new one, they're just like, I found an old Atari, like, because the Jumanji game, the board game, it's all made out of wood and shit, so you're like, this thing could be ancient, like,
yeah, that's exactly
but with the video game, I'm like, it's just like an Atari or whatever.
Right.
You're gonna tell me that Atari is
that's
enchanted?
That's what I'm really kind of like thrown off about it.
Right. It's the only part that doesn't work for me.
Like, how old can Atari be?
Right.
You know. Whereas the Jumanji board game, the actual pieces look like stone and ivory.
Right.
Like,
they're all handcrafted. Yeah. They could be ancient.
And even the centerpiece where the actual text would come out was like an opal almost. Like just some weird. Whereas it's an old, like, it's an old console with spider webs.
Right. That's in a school, and you're like,
right,
sure, so, whatever. The movie will be fun. I don't care, I guess.
It's fine. Yeah, I'm sure that's the thing. Like, it looks like a film that'll be fun, like a family fun film. Which what the original one was, I guess, family fun film. But again, the threat felt way more real.
I just hope that the jokes of, like, I used to be tall, but now I'm Kevin Hart, and, like, I used to be a pretty girl, but now I'm Jack Black. I get it, and, like, that initial shock of that is going to be funny, even though they've played it out in all of the trailers. I just hope that the entire basis of the humor is not them reacting to them being not the right character over and over again.
I bloody hope that there's, like... I also hope that you know for a fact that the characters are gonna learn lessons throughout this film.
Okay,
right?
call it now. Call it now.
Okay.
By the end of the movie, is any of that video game shit coming to the real world, or does the entirety of it have to do with just them escaping and then they're fine?
I'd say that's the thing. That was the very big difference between original Jumanji and this one. It felt like maybe. That's the difference that they're trying to make. They're separating it by doing it that way.
Right. But I just wonder, like, if we're talking into the movie, it does that, or Jumanji 2.
Maybe, like, like they get out, and they're like, oh, we're all fine, but then you'll see the actual console go, and then something comes out, and you're like, oh no, sequel time.
Right, now we have to do it as ourselves. It's gonna be way harder.
Yeah, now it's gonna be us, and we gotta
see that'll be hard too, because how do they bring the pieces? You can't, like, have the first one like starring The Rock, and then I don't know. It'd be weird.
Yeah. Still, like, now we're obviously opening it up to, like, oh, this is maybe and for all we know, this is what the heads up were thinking of.
Oh yeah,
when they were.
I'm sure the conversation is happening.
Yeah, you know, what we're talking about happened, and they might have incorporated aspects of it already. But yeah, I just hope that like, oh no, I was once a pretty girl. Damn, I'm a fat dude. That's gonna be part of the story throughout the whole thing.
Right. Hopefully not.
Like, hopefully he just doesn't keep mentioning that.
Right.
Like, we get it. We're watching the movie.
Mm-hmm.
We understand the purpose. By the end of the film, I don't want you to keep repeating that. You know. But I'll probably watch it. It looks like it's a fun film. So
I'm looking forward to it. What else we got up on the list? I think that's the last thing, right?
The last thing.
Yeah.
Is the Tomb Raider trailer.
Okay.
So here is a film in a long line of video game adaptations.
Yeah, this is the next hope.
This is the next one. Yeah. The one before this. What did we get before this?
Assassin's Creed was the last one. Everyone was like, maybe this could be good. I still haven't seen it.
Okay.
The trailer and the Animus thing, and then I was already kind of turned off, and then all the reviews were garbage, so I didn't even bother with it.
If you have nothing to do
if it shows up on Netflix, I might give it a shot.
Oh yeah, for sure. If it's a Netflix, like a lot of these things, if it pops up on Netflix, give it a whirl for sure. Right. Like you already got a subscription. It's essentially a free film at this point.
So granted, this is the next one that's supposed to do it. What did you
think is the next one? I think the trailer looked good. I think it looked good. This is one that I'm like, all right. The action looks cool. The plot is, it's typical, I suppose. Mm-hmm. Like you can't really go too crazy with. I mean, Tomb Raider.
Visually, they captured a lot of specific things from the new game. Mm-hmm. The only thing that worries me is that it seems like a Batman Begins take on Tomb Raider. Mm-hmm. This movie trailer, at least, seems to be going that way, because they have they have the scene where she goes to her company or whatever, and she's talking to the front desk guy. And he's like, name? And she's like, Laura. He's like, last name? She's like, Croft. And he's like, oh my goodness.
He looks up and goes, oh, I'm stupid for not even realizing.
Right. They seem to do that. And like every time you're a rich kid, I think they did it in Iron Fist. They did it in Batman Begins.
Well, at least with Iron Fist, it's not like she's going. Everyone goes, I'm Lara Croft. I'm the daughter.
But at the same time, okay, so they have the scene at the end. Grant, there's a bunch of stuff in the beginning, looks like the game. Stuff for her, like, falling from tree branches into water. It looks like shit from the game. But then they have this, like, stinger at the end of the trailer where she's talking to Nick Frost, and he's, like, a pawn shop owner or something. And she picks up 2 pistols, and she's got her hair in a ponytail braid.
Up here, goes down.
And she's got the exact pistols from the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movies, with her hair in the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider.
It goes down.
Now, in the game, they've now made 2 of these games in this rebooted series. She still has yet to pick up 2 guns like that. She's not done it. They seem to have separated themselves from that old version of the character. So by them saying she eventually turns into that, and specifically holds the Angelina Jolie version of the guns, it seems like they're saying this is the origin story for that version of the character. Yeah. So it's like a continuation of that franchise randomly. Like, why not just make a new thing? Why are you connecting it to the old one? That's what I thought it was
going to be. I thought this was supposed to be... Like, obviously, we're assuming this based on what we're only seeing in the trailer.
For sure. But, for example, it'd be like at the end of Batman Begins... He pulls out Keaton's Batman mask and puts Keaton's Batman mask on, like where it's got his cowl piece with the yellow symbol and everything. Mm-hmm. Then you'd go, but you went through the trouble to make it so different through the rest of it. Why would you now go, like, at the end of all that, be like, but I'm still the Keaton Batman?
Yeah.
It just seems like an odd
it was almost
choice.
Like... The way you're saying it, it's like they did, well, based on the trailer, obviously, they did a Batman Begins up until a point where it's like, no, it's a prequel to the previous.
Just at the end, they're like, also,
Why?
It'd be like, or even to tie it closer to what they actually had in the movie. At the end, where he pulls out the little fucking card, and they're like, "There's this new guy in town," and then he leaves these calling cards, and it's a Joker card. They could have literally pulled out like a photo, and it's Jack Nicholson Joker, and they're like, "And this guy's around now." Then it's like, wait,
it's like, so
what does that mean? It's just a random choice to me.
So this fits in there. Yeah, it's essentially doing that. And
that feels like studio pressure.
Oh, that did. Because the rest of the trailer did look nothing like.
No, the rest of the trailer, they seem like they were homaging the new game.
Right.
Like she's using the pickaxe thing and all that shit. Now they're like, she uses the bow and arrow. It's her main weapon until the end, and we'll show you this stinger. Why are they showing the stinger? The end credit stinger.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why it was
reveal trailer.
Because like I remember you mentioning this before I'd watched the trailer, because I just watched all these trailers like less than an hour ago essentially, and when that popped up, I was like, okay, this is basically what you mentioned. I'm like, that felt like a post credit for a film.
Right.
Why would you show that as a stinger in a trailer?
That's so random. For the first trailer,
are they like,
too. I'm like, what are you...
the first trailer, are they revealing their hand and basically saying, the whole film's gonna be fine until the end, where it's just like, oh yeah, we just...
Are the Jolie Tomb Raiders so beloved that we couldn't just have a separate Tomb Raider thing now based on these new games? That's what I thought this was
supposed to be, though.
I did too, but that's why the stinger, I'm like, okay, so what is the purpose? Was it just a like, ooh, this is fun for the fans that remember those, or is this a like, those are the guns, so she's that?
Because I was saying that before I'd watched the trailer. I was like, maybe it's just kind of like an Easter egg type thing for the people who'd watched and enjoyed the previous two.
Right.
But the way it looked, I'm like, no, she looks exactly like how she's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
So why would you?
And see, because at first I was like, maybe they just look similar, so they were kind of homaging it. But then I watched a director's commentary on that trailer, and he says those are the exact guns.
Why would you do that?
So I'm like, what? Yeah, I don't know.
What good will that do you?
Yeah, what purpose? What purpose?
So, all right, if this film does well, if this film is good, does well, makes money, and they end up doing a sequel, will it be another prequel to Angelina Jolie?
Yeah, is the sequel Angelina Jolie's first Tomb Raider? Is that the sequel to this movie?
Are they just taking that look and making their own? But then,
is
what's
this
the point
Tomb
in
Raider
taking
Rogue
that look?
One or something?
Oh no! Don't say that. That's essentially what it is, then.
I don't know.
Oh no! But the trailer looked fine. Looked great. We had the Asian lead from Badlands, and in the Badlands is one of the characters.
Is he in that?
In the trailer, I just watched the trailer. Yeah, he was the guy that was in
her friend or whatever. I didn't even recognize him from that.
Yeah, he's the main dude from It's the Badlands. I was like, oh, good job, Mr. Asian.
Yeah. Her in the game, she's got like a whole cast and crew that's on.
And I'm sure there's a couple of them.
It seemed like they were like, nah, just her and the Asian guy this time.
Yeah, maybe. It's like, hey, he's good at Into the Badlands, and you know, Hollywood's always fighting for more Asians, so let's cast an Asian guy. Although I'm sure people are gonna be annoyed or something because they like to find something to be annoyed by.
Somebody's always annoyed all the time.
Just by something. It's like, why don't you cast some other guy? It's like, I don't bloody know.
So do you
Trailer's
think...
good, though. I'll probably check it out.
Call it now. Is this the one to be the first good video game movie since Mortal Kombat?
The fact that it's since Mortal Kombat is weird to me.
Well, some people say those Tomb Raider movies fit into the okay. I actually thought they were all right. I just don't think they were great, but I did have fun with them. The second one I thought was even more fun, even though it was more ridiculous.
Yeah. Which is good, because I'm like, oh, normally sequels kind of...
Yeah, they had the whole, like, squirrel suit thing right when those got real popular, and they had, like, giant mutant dogs that were chasing them around.
I remember that. But they're fun movies. So, you know, fun is good. How close are they to... Now, here's the thing. Like, when you do a video game adaptation to a film, do you want it to be super close to the game, or do you want it to... be close enough but be its own thing? What do you look
I think, well, with this particular game, I think that they could have just copied what the game did because it was already presented cinematically. It was like a Uncharted style game.
Right. Do you think if they did that though, like would there be like, is there a point in even doing one that's exactly like the game where you just play the game?
I think so, because regardless of if it is similar, and you might just, some fans of the game will be like, oh, it's just the same. The majority of people that will go see this movie have never played that fucking game.
That's true. Okay, good point. Great point there.
Yeah, there's lots of people like yourself that they see really dope looking games and they're like, man, they should make a movie of that.
Yeah, I always say that.
This is the only way you would see what
That's
that game
true.
was like, because you're not going to play it. So to me, just make it what the game is.
That's true. Okay. Okay. In saying that, this might be the closest thing to it then. This might
We'll
be...
see, because that stinger, I'm like...
Right, it's
that
just
implies a very different path, because in the game, in the first game, she ends up going like on a whole big journey, and there ends up being like Asian like ghost creatures and shit, and I'm like, that I want to see some cool stuff like that. And they, who knows what's there now, because right now it looks like the first hour of the game, and then anything can happen. And I have no idea.
That's the problem. Like, and I really don't have a problem with that, because I haven't played the game, so I'm not really super attached to the game or the character really. I thought the games looked good. The film looks like they captured aspects of this new iteration of the character, so I'm all down for that. That last stinger is just confusing. That's all.
I still think Daisy Ridley would have been a better choice.
Yes.
I think that they messed up her hair. That's one of the things I didn't like about this movie version. Is I was telling you before, the character's design in the game, it's basically that, but she has like bangs and stuff and kind of messier hair in the front, so that when she's wet it sticks to her face, and when she's moving it's like flapping around shit. Because her hair is like shellacked to her fucking head. It just looks like a big baby dome head. It kind of looks like how she looked in Ex Machina, because you only see her face with nothing in front of it.
That's what I thought too.
So it's like just her face with a hair frame. So to me, it kind of makes her face the same as it was in that movie. I wish they would have broken it up some, so we get variation on her look.
And they probably did that for the whole face capturing type stuff, when to assist with effects and stuff.
Maybe, but to me, I'm like, if you got that hair in the face, then you have to do less of that.
Get away with a lot more things. True.
Double and shit.
True. But I mean, I'll probably check it out.
Oh yeah,
probably.
For right now, I'm interested to see more. Yeah. We'll see how the other trailers go.
Yes, I was gonna say I'm curious about trailer 2.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it could be this might be the one to be like, hey, another decent video game movie.
We'll see. We'll see if it's this one.
It could be.
We'll see if it's this one.
But that's it, man. That's all we got.
And that is episode 100. Was it amazing?
It was something. We're back though.
Fireworks.
Hopefully maintain this momentum. Another one next week.
Yeah, another one next week. I'm going to be moving in October, so there might be another like break of time when I'm like setting up everything in the new spot.
But that's fine. We'll have another one next week. I think next week is doable still.
For sure.
Yeah. But that's it for 200.
But for now, that is it. 100 is a wrap. And so I guess until the next one, guys, stay chipper chaps.
Stay chipper chaps.